Well. Yesterday, I took the deposition on behalf of Laura Loomer, of that low-class so-called comedian, not a comedian at all. He's a political pundit. He's just not a person, frankly, that is funny, who defamed my client, Laura Loomer, who's been in the news in the last few days, who revealed security risks in the National Security Council in a meeting with President Trump that resulted in the firing of six NSC officials. Good riddance. In any event, she had been defamed by Bill Maher widely in this country, in Florida, where the case is brought in Ocala, Florida, a very conservative and religious area of Florida, where I had my campaign headquarters when I was running for the Senate many years ago. Trump, excuse me, Maher published widely that she had she had had sex with President Trump behind the back of Melania Trump, thereby committing adultery. That's defamation per se. And Maher has already lost a motion to dismiss. So he was deposed yesterday. Now, the deposition is temporarily confidential. It'll come out in a few weeks. There was nothing confidential about the questions that I asked. But of course, the lawyers for Maher did everything they could to try to obstruct, but they couldn't because, unfortunately, he's dead to legal rights. And this law firm, by the way, Davis, Wright, Tremaine, is the same law firm that represented George Stephanopoulos and ABC, where they had to settle a case for $15 million for President Trump because Stephanopoulos accused President Trump of having raped a woman, E. Jean Carroll, who miraculously remembered 40 years later that she was, quote, raped, obviously complete BS, and put up to it by the Democrats. Well, Maher's put up to it as well for clicks and ratings and everything else. That's quite clear. He defamed my client. He's going to pay for it. Laura Loomer was with me side by side. She was participating. She was giving me notes of what she thought was pertinent. She had copied off a lot of material about Bill Maher and what he said about Trump. He's Trump hating. This meeting that Bill Maher had in the White House recently with President Trump was just a publicity stunt. It was to blunt the effect of his deposition. He is now exposed for what he is, totally. And this is something which you're going to be able to really see and participate in as this case proceeds to trial. He's in the deep you know what. I don't use language like he does. You wouldn't believe the language that he uses. And Bill Maher, publicly, we know, nothing even to do with the deposition. He doesn't believe in God. He's an atheist. He thinks that he's the greatest thing on earth that ever lived. Why the media even gives him any credit for anything, I don't know, other than the fact that the leftist media backs him up. And he throws a few bones the other way every now and then to try to keep his credibility. I used to be on his show, Politically Incorrect, years ago, after I founded and ran Judicial Watch. But he doesn't want real conservatives on his show. He just wants people that can roll over to him. And actually, we offered to settle this case early on, at least in terms of mitigating the amount of damage that would have to be paid, if Laura Loomer was put on the show to explain and to rebut that she didn't have sex with Donald Trump. The fact that Donald Trump likes Laura Loomer, the fact that she has his confidence, doesn't mean that you have sex with someone. That is an extremely misogynistic, frankly, sexist view with regard to women. Just because you have a good feeling about somebody and may, embrace them when you meet them or anything like that does not mean that you're having sex. And when you make that kind of a claim, that deals with the moral turpitude of the victim, in this case, Laura Loomer, and it hurts her in terms of her reputation and her financial capacity, in terms of what she's able to do. She's not well off. And this is very, very important to set the line here and to set the principle and not to allow these anti-Trump law firms. And you can see an article about them in a Hollywood Reporter. Google it. The law firm that President Trump likes least. I'm paraphrasing the headline. Read about it. One of the partners of this law firm is the former wife of Harold Ickes, who was the White House chief of staff to Bill Clinton, highly politicized, highly leftist, in that same Hollywood Reporter story that had a story about me on the other side, opposing them. So this has been a long-running story. They claim that they can say whatever they want without consequence. And by extension, they can do whatever they want without consequence. President Trump has dealt with law firms before that have done things that were improper and, frankly, in many cases, illegal. He's banned them. He's done all kinds of things. I'm taking my route, representing Laura Loomer. I'm doing it in my private capacity because she's a good woman and she's someone who's exposed a lot of very important information. For instance, she was the one who exposed that Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman from Minnesota, Detroit, married her brother, immigration fraud. I have a petition pending to have her deported. She exposed that Haitians were eating cats in Springfield, Ohio. They were. Even Vice President Vance said he had been contacted by 10 people who observed it. She's not a clown. She's not a hack. She uncovers things. And she just recently uncovered that there was a security risk at the National Security Council with aides to Mike Walsh up there. And she presented that to the president in person. The president took swift action. And thank God these people are now gone. So I want to call your attention. You can go to larryclayman.com and see about it. You can help us with the costs of this case by donating. It's very expensive. Even a deposition is extremely expensive between the video and everything else. And we need your support and we need your help. And we're there for you, the American people, in addition, of course, and my really fine client, Laura Loomer, I've represented over the years in many different things, and I also consider my friend. God bless you. God bless your family. God save America. Remember, God will only help us if we help ourselves. We have to stand up to the evil forces of the left. We have to stand up to the evil forces of the likes of Bill Maher. He is simply not funny. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.